to International Conference Center, University of Ibadan. We are here to celebrate the 2025 National Research Symposium Award Ceremony. My name is Vaji Haminat Folake. I work for the Global Institute for Science, Engineering and Business Management, Giseb. And I'm grateful for Giseb for the opportunity. I'm thankful for this opportunity, to be honest, and I'm grateful for my family.
I feel so excited about the final round of the grand finale, basically, of this symposium. I am Thomas Wedakwe. I want to thank Giseb for the opportunity.
National Research
to the Global Institute for Science, Engineering and Business Management National Research Symposium 2025. This platform is dedicated to celebrating and recognizing outstanding minds in academia and education. Today, we are not just giving out awards, we are also celebrating innovation and the power of knowledge to shape a better society. So I would implore us to sit back and enjoy a day of innovation, impact, and knowledge. Thank you so much. So right now, I would like to start by reciting the national anthem. Are we all right on our feet, please? All right. Let's look at our scene. Thank you very much. The opening speech, and it will be delivered by the symposium chairman, the person of Professor Olusegun Olufemi Ajide. Please, as Professor Olusegun Olufemi Ajide comes up, I would like us to welcome you with a round of applause, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I want to greet every one of us for making to us also the occasions. And without wasting time, I will start by observing the protocols. The founders, co-founders, Chief Executive Officers of Giseb, every led by Engineer Devices, Engineer Karakite Daniel, Engineer Musa Patai, and the barrister Ayodechi. The organizer of the maiden edition of this National Research Symposium is includes the speakers. First, Professor Sekino Adejoke Kola Aderoju, the HOD of Department of History, Kola University in Ibadan. You are welcome. Also, we have our father here, Dr. Ismail Adesina Raji, who have the privilege of serving together at the Bulgarian College Board. The Emeritus HOD of the Department of Educational Management, the Great University of Ibadan. Welcome, sir.
Yes,
we also have one of our fathers who is going to join us, Professor Lukega. His work has been supported by several lawyers who also among them at the head of PGF, General Fund and Law, Professor of the Great University of Ibadan. Professor here, present, university leaders, members of the academia and research communities, other eminent girls present here, their still parents, guardians, friends, and well-wishers. Of course, I want to especially acknowledge the contributions of these Raji Aminats, our dogged program officers and research assistants, and members of the organizing team for this great occasion. And also with Olajide Folonso, another dogged personality, who have been working with us in this regard. Let me also acknowledge the presence of the 9 panelists and of course the awardees. We have Mr. David Peter. Are you here? Gloria. Are you here? Alright, with Thomas Agogo, maybe he's on his way. Christiana Agogo, Omiyinka Samuel, Victor, Adeyemi Oyosore. I think that's from Colorado City. That's one of our women. Then Oyelami Muslimu, James and Eunice. We also have some of our who made it to the semi-final stage, who are also invited. The invited university students, we have some 100 level, 200 students. We acknowledge the wisdom of your welcome. And some of our students in secondary school, Emmanuel, you are welcome. Edido, you are welcome. And Samuel, you are welcome. Members of the press, our today program's moderator, we welcome you also. Thank you for your offer to do this task. Eminent ladies and gentlemen, all other important protocols are humbly observed. With act of gratitude to the Almighty God, who has spared our life to witness His birthday in the 11th month, coincidentally the second to the last month of the year 2025. It is therefore with a spectacular excitement that I welcome all into this historical program. I do need to say Happy New Month. Happy New Month, sir. Happy New Month. You are all welcome to this. So many. Okay, your test competition is playing crucial role in innovation, technological advancement, industrialization, and sustainable development. According to Jack Allen, and I quote, modern technology has become a total phenomenon for civilization, the defining force of a new social order in which efficiency is no longer an option, but a necessity imposed on all human activity. Without research, there is no access to modern technology, and of course, innovation. According to Sunday Thought 2023, research refers to an activity that people undertake in order to find out new things in a systematic way, thereby increasing their knowledge. Research, as I normally say, means research. Implied researching for an already started issue or matter with a view to discovering new facts and information about a particular phenomenon that is vastly reported. Top-notch research activity leads to innovation, real-world problem solving, and groundbreaking discoveries for addressing many national issues in health, technology, agriculture, economy, and what have you. Therefore, the 2025 National Research Symposium of our highly applauded and revered Global Institute for Science, Engineering, and Business Management is the maiden edition in the NRS series. The NRS is one of the core Giseb platforms dedicated to inspiring excellent, advancing innovation among early career scholars across Nigeria, of course, across beyond. It is designed to connect creativity and opportunity and provide a space where emerging researchers can share their idea, receive expert feedback, and build network that extend beyond academia. The theme of this year edition is inclusive sustainability, embodying Giseb's vision of promoting research that harmonizes progress with fairness. So, and knowledge that is equitable, locally relevant, and globally impactful. This thing is no doubt well thought as a response to the reality of the present series of global challenges. Necessarily the drive to pioneer the state-of-the-art research activity for advanced technology and innovation for transitioning to sustainable development across the globe, with special focus on Africa, because that is where we are going to find. Therefore, I seek your interest to express my heartfelt gratitude to the founders, the initiator, CEO of Giseb, who are all in diaspora and are ably led by Engineer Adebayo, Aziz, Karakite, Musa, and Barrister Ayobeki, all in the United States of America. And we appreciate and give them an applause. I indeed commend you highly, and especially Dr. Meka, for your thoughtfulness and innovative spirit in this regard. As I begin to round up, what I'll quickly give up tips, the kind of highlights on 2025 National Research Symposium and stakeholder beyond the journey so far. I focus on the area of expertise and minimize unnecessary competition. Through this areas of 2025, call for adverts, and we are delighted that many adverts were submitted. Of course, 30 were selected after a rigorous review by our engineers that are carefully selected across the globe, not only in this country. This advert was subjected to rigorous review, like I double blind, and on that basis we select 30. We move to semi-final stage. So after the semi-final stage, of course, we move to the final stage, where we also recruit our judges from different parts of the world based on their CV, their experience. And of course, these are judges that are not known to us. You know, from Belgium, from Canada, from the US. So these are people that put, so it's not a matter of some people know people for them to become judge. As we speak now, we don't personally know our chief judge. We only communicate online. That is to tell you the global level of this. So in the next award program, we are going to have nearly 7 awards. And couple of, I will not say consolation prizes, because we are not consulting anybody here. We are also recognizing their contribution, their performance, their effort, their display so far. We have a prize award for overall best researchers that goes for the sum of 500,000 euros. I think we are going to appreciate the elements of it. We also have award for best in science, go for the sum of 300,000 euros. We also have for the best in engineering, 300,000 naira. You are best in business and management, 300,000 naira. You also have best undergraduate researcher, 250,000 naira. You have best female presenter, 250,000 naira. We have People's Choice Award. This is an award that came up as a result of all the judges, the participants in that program voting to see which of these projects or presentation that you like most. And we call it People's Choice Award. That also goes for 250,000 naira. And lastly, for those that participated in the final stage, who did their best, because when you look at the final stage, then
material, digital, educational, exposure and civilization, cultural, and finally, science.
For those who made it to that final stage. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, at different stages of the 2025 NRF so far, and strongly believe, same today, award ceremony, tremendous success has been made in attainment of this objective of providing a durable platform for guiding like-minded individuals, especially students and early career researchers from across the globe in order to learn, discuss, talk, network, share ideas, create new ideas, and ignite motivation. We are indeed grateful and delighted for the presence of our eminent scholar, our distinguished guest speakers who are here today. Like Sekina, the proudly HOD of history, will be taking up on issues beyond boundaries. Why inclusive research drive better innovation? Can we appreciate the speaker? And we are going to appreciate him. Dr. Ismail, I just feel like speaking of this woman that starts growing in national last. And that's really important. How do we endure research, especially in this present generation? And lastly, we have the presentation of Professor Olubenga Adebanjo Falode, who will be focusing on the missing link, connecting academia, industry, and national growth. You will agree with me that the expected presentation of the distinguished guest speaker today will further promote the quest for knowledge sharing, for catalyzing exchange of cutting-edge research, concept combining, it will promote intra and interdisciplinary collaboration, opportunity, co-dialogue among stakeholders, capacity building for students, early career researchers, community engagement, strengthening time and gathering relationship with core for potential investors, funders, and drive for societal-oriented policy and transformational restructuring. Concluding remarks. The activity of this NRS, that's the National Research Symposium so far, and that of today, we aim to find discussion and proactive action geared towards a comprehensive approach to addressing poverty, social issues, and environmental impact for accelerated and innovative transition to sustainable development. Across industries for enhanced mental impact, it is open for further advocacy to explore its own endowed resources that we are canvassing, that Nigeria and the rest of Africa should explore its own resources toward the drive for own growth solutions, problem solving. It is open that
so you have to define the
give us as a player across the value chain
is the stage where you go into the
and minimize unnecessary competition.
sociological.
In addition, it will echo the need for players and stakeholders to engage in comprehensive inter- and intra-collaboratory problem solving so that we can achieve innovative technology for advancement and sustainable development. Once again, I welcome our distinguished guest speakers eminent guests, our noble parents, guardians, friends, well-wishers, and all of us to this epoch-making occasion. And we appreciate, if you don't mind, a very spectacular applause for every one of us, for every one of us. This audience is really charming, is great, and I'm impressed. I'm so excited to deal with this. So I wish all of us a blissful, eventful, and effective celebration, interaction, networking, and highly rewarding award presentation ceremony. Thank you for your unflinching audience. I remain your servant, O.O. and J. Chairman of the Senate. Thank you very much.
I'm very happy and I am so grateful for the privilege to be part of this event. So if you know you are also happy, please, I want your applause to be more cheerful and warm, please. Once again, let's give God a round of applause. Right, thank you so much. So now, I would like to invite our first guest speaker, the person of Professor Sekinat Adejoke Kola-Aderoju, to give us insights on the topic Beyond Boundaries, why inclusive research drives better innovation. I'm going to make a brief recitation of Prof's profile. Professor Sekinat Adejoke Kola-Aderoju is a distinguished Nigerian historian and academic serving as head of Department of History and Diplomatic Studies at Koladaisi University, Ibadan, Oyo State. She was promoted to the rank of full professor in August 2025, a recognition of her exceptional contributions to scholarship, mentorship, and academic leadership. Kola-Aderoju's research spans Nigeria and African history, gender studies, economic development, and indigenous technology. However, she has authored numerous scholarly articles and books, including works on Yoruba tradition and the role of women's organizations in Nigeria, reflecting her commitment to documenting and analyzing cultural, social, and economic dynamics in African societies. She began her academic career as a lecturer at Emmanuel Olayode College of Education before joining Koladaisi University, where she was appointed acting head of department in 2018 and later became the substantive head. Her leadership has fostered academic excellence and innovation, which inspires students and colleagues alike. A celebrated and respected scholar, Professor Kola-Aderoju, has been publicly recognized as a philanthropic pillar of hope by the Golden Generation Community Development Club. She has also represented our university at international academic conferences, including the Lagos Studies Association Conference in 2023, showcasing her commitment to advancing Nigerian and African history on a global stage. As a guest speaker for the 2025 Research Symposium Award Ceremony, Professor Kola-Aderoju will present on Beyond Boundaries, why inclusive research drives better innovation, bringing our wealth of experience and insight to inspire interdisciplinary collaboration and research excellence. Please, as I hand the mic over to Professor, please let's give her a standing ovation, open with a round of applause, please. Thank you.
I want to crave our indulgence to go with the existing protocol. Even if I wish to start, I may not be able to do it perfectly well. So please pardon me. But at the same time, I will recognize the chairman, a professor, thank you very much, and the eminent guests around here, and especially the awardees. Sorry, for a point of correction, I came here because I happen to be one of the mentors of Moyo Sore Adeyemi, one of the awardees from Ghana University. I'm the former Director of Academic Planning and now the Dean of the Faculty of Arts, Management and Social Sciences. So here with me is the Dean Student Affairs for Ghana University, Dr. Achibong Okone. Please stand up for recognition. And she doubles as the current HOD, Department of History and Diplomatic Studies. Thank you very much. The topic I'm supposed to talk on is beyond boundaries, why inclusive research drives better innovation. The first question I would like to ask is, we're talking of boundaries. We need to understand what boundaries and what boundaries exist these days. We have different kinds of boundary: the physical, geographical, ideological, inspirational, material, digital, educational, exposure and civilization, cultural, and finally, scientific and technological boundaries. So if you want to name the boundaries, we have several boundaries. But there is a question I want to ask. With the current trend in the 21st century, do we still experience such boundaries? All these boundaries were clear in the 20th century. But with the current trend, do we still have boundaries again? I don't think so. Talking about physical and geographical boundaries, they are still there, right, in theory, but in practical, there's nothing like that again. You can sit within the corner of your four walls and see whatever happens in some other geopolitical or geosocial or geo-environmental places. Then you can, when you talk of ideological boundaries are there. But these days, all these boundaries are close in all. They are close in all. I can confidently say that we are talking about advanced countries of the world. We can still have ideological boundaries. But in Africa, especially in Nigeria, is there anything like ideological boundaries? Do we have ideologies? Do we have clearly cut ideologies? Are we operating based on ideologies? When in actual fact, different people in Nigeria now are not thinking of any other thing other than how to make money. Then also, when we talk of inspirational, the inspirational boundaries are there. The way you are inspired is different from the way I am inspired. Then material, we have the material boundaries. Or in a way, you can find the material of the farthest place in the world around. It's just a matter of connection. Then the digital boundary. Do we still have the digital boundary? Because this era is an era for digitalization. Do we still have the digital boundary? No. Educational. With transnational education, this boundary is already close enough. Then also, when we talk of exposure, civilization that could determine the cultural composition of places, not so much of it. And that's why we now have different kinds of intercultural relations. We have people around imbibing different cultures that are quite alien to their environment. So looking at all these boundaries, we discover that there is a particular boundary that we still see, and that is intensify efforts, especially in Africa, on research. That's why we have to intensify efforts on research. So, talking about research, how do we go about research in the 21st century? Number one demand of research in 21st century is collaboration. In the time of multidisciplinarity, transdisciplinarity, and interdisciplinarity. For us to have holistic research, for comprehensiveness, for innovation and improvements, we need to uphold that, to come up with a research. But if it is multi, that means you are using many disciplines to come up with the research. But if it is transdisciplinarity, it means moving from one discipline to the other. The word concept. It means gliding from one discipline to the other. So all these are essential demands of the 21st century. We want to carry out comprehensive research. Okay, if we have all realized that collaboration is an essential aspect of, is an essential demand of the 21st century, then how do we go about collaboration? How do we go about it? I've been able to state the methods of collaboration. They are not really far-fetched from the known scientific methods of carrying out research. One, before a research will be carried out, there must be identification of problem. You cannot carry out a research without identifying the problem you intend to solve. There should be identification of problem. After this, the problem needs to be defined. You cannot say, okay, we have identified it. Let us define it. For instance, we observed that people are no longer visiting the hospitals for major ailments. They now prefer to go to medicinal whatever to take care of their health issues. And at the end of the day, we discover some other problems coming out of that. You know, these are identification of problem. How do we now define it? Defining the problem, one may need to study the problem from the roots. Okay, why is it that people are no longer visiting the hospital? Okay, probably when they get to the hospital, the doctors there, they normally, pass some unpleasant words or whatever, or probably the nurses are not really welcoming, or probably the drugs may not even be there, or probably when they are given the drugs, sorry, I'm a teacher, I can go without it. Or probably when they are given the drugs, some people react to the drugs or whatever. So as you now intend to solve this problem, directly looking at that problem alone may not really solve it. So you have to define the problem. So the definition stage is the stage where you go into the nitty-gritty. You think of the psychological, sociological, the attitudinal, then at the same time, you look at the scientific related issues, to this. So if you want to do this, you cannot face the discipline and guess the actual solution to the problem. And this is how humanity can be injected, psychology will be injected, apart from solving the problem of gadgets that are not available, solving the problem of operators, those who are going to operate it, and all that. So you now discover that there is no way we can run away from multidisciplinary, transdisciplinary, and interdisciplinary if we actually want to carry out collaborative research. So after this, the normal thing, the next thing should be formulation of hypothesis. But now, we are moving away from that. We're now going to ideation. What is ideation? when you have a large number of people and you allow them to brainstorm, you allow them to think of the most stupid thing. Let me give you an example. When OPE was about to develop its fintech, there was a conglomeration of different people, product designers, product managers, and all that. So when they gathered, someone now said, let them use their phone number. You know, they will always remember their phone number. Remove one digit from it, and that was how they have the best. And look at the way OPE is performing now. I'm talking in terms of digital products. I'm sorry, probably because I'm a product designer too. Though I'm initially diplomatic studies, or I am also a digital product designer. All right. So by the time you cross the stage of ideation, you welcome anything at the stage of ideation. Welcome anything from any quarters, from anybody. Multidisciplinarity is now coming into it. So after this, we now move forward to prototyping. You create a prototype. This prototype will be a near representation of what the product you actually intend to use to solve this problem. But during the stage of prototyping, ideation continues. So this part now makes it important to involve people from diverse bodies of knowledge, diverse origin, diverse perspective, diverse thinking, so that a good product can come out of that research. Then after that, there will be testing. The process of testing involves ideation also, because all hands will be on deck. Every stakeholder will be involved, even in the process of testing. After which you can now have the real product that you intend to use to solve that particular problem. And even at that, it doesn't end at that, because there's bound to be review, there's bound to be evaluation. So as we move on, this will now it will now be geared towards the betterment of the society, improved livelihood, and transformation. Obviously, collaboration will lead to innovation, because you are making use of knowledge, perspectives, ideas from different areas. If we continue to do things the same way, we will always get the same results. But if we decide to do it differently, obviously we'll have different answers and different results. Innovation will bring about improved livelihood, transformation. The horizon of knowledge will be widened, and there will be that opportunity of diverse perspectives, and that means freedom. Freedom. And in a way, innovations, wherever we find innovation, and it's not yielding all this, it means nothing has been done. Innovation must make life simpler, life better, and must not create undue problems again after intending to solve a particular problem. So what are the research and its focus in the 21st century and beyond? If you are talking of 21st century now, we need to talk beyond the 21st century, especially in Africa. There is a need for us to talk beyond the 21st century, and that is how sustainability comes in. Because talking about sustainability is the efforts made by a particular generation to create enabling environment for future generation. Whatever innovation that is made now that will have a bad precedent for future generation is not sustainable. Talking about sustainability, we must be able to create enabling environment for future generation to thrive. So research in the 21st and 21st century and beyond must involve all aspects of life. All aspects of life. We have the political aspect, we have the economy, scientific and technological aspects, environmental, health. All aspects of life must be included. Also, all ideas, no matter how small, and that's why when people come up with ideas in research, some people say, oh, this is an idea I never thought of. This is a brilliant idea, but it has been gone without even attracting attention. So all ideas must be involved when we talk of 21st century and beyond research. Then all elements of the society must be involved. All elements of society must be involved. That is inclusion. Inclusion is a recommendation of the United Nations, and this has been adopted by different governments, non-governmental agencies, the state actors and the non-state actors. But sincerely, Africa and Nigeria is just trying to attain that. Just trying to attain that. Let me give you an example. I wrote a paper during the cashless and cashless period. I titled the paper Cashless Policy on the eve of 2023 election. Inclusion or exclusion. You know, at that time, it was in a bid to abide by the United Nations recommendation of inclusion, financial inclusion, that the cashless policy was introduced, though with some other ulterior motive. So I now ask, is this inclusion or exclusion? Because many people do not have money. People, they ran mad in the bank, and different kinds of things happened during that time. So when we talk of inclusion, inclusion must not create hardship. It must not bring another round of problems to the society. Inclusion must ease things up for people, and the seemingly negligible aspects of the society must be involved when things are done. So in a way, if we have a research that is not recognizing different elements of the society, that means the research lacks inclusion. Then, in the 21st century and beyond, research must be geared towards transformation, towards improving upon the way we do things. I was discussing something with Moyo while we were waiting. We came around 10:30. I told her that in Africa, the issue we have is that even if out of inspiration we are endowed with certain things, we don't really move forward again. So I told her that in those days, whenever they want to pass information around, they will look for the topmost hill around that environment. They will stand on it and pass that information. And obviously it will reach, they may pass it through the beating of drum, they may pass through all of some other means, and it will reach those people. They will know that something is happening. Why is it that African man cannot think that, okay, this information is transmitted through air, AIR. If it is transmitted through air, is it possible for us to take some wires and achieve the same transmission? If African man had been able to do that early enough, the radio stations, the television stations, and some other means through which information reach people will not be considered as part of the Western modernization. So these are the reasons why what we actually need currently in Africa in the 21st century and beyond is not starting from the scratch. We already have what we can leverage upon. So we now make use of what we can leverage upon to break even first and to break through. Collaboration, out of which innovation could be got, are essential parts of what we should consider when carrying out research in the 21st century and beyond. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for this speech. Please let's give Prof a round of applause. That was a very impactful session, and I learned a lot actually. I learned a lot about boundaries, research, identification of problems, and innovation. I don't know about you, but once again, let us put our hands together. Some of our guest speakers came in, and I would like us to acknowledge the presence. First off, the arrival of Engineer A.E. Ajide, Associate Program Officer, CPEEFGI. Please let's give him a round of applause. The distinguished guest speaker, Professor O.E. Farude, Director, CPEEFGI, and also the Also, I would like us to acknowledge the presence of the family of Akinade Dela, as they have been a good support system to the symposium. Let's put our hands together. The first presenter will be the best female researcher, the person of Adeyemi Moyosoriwa Daniela. Please let's put our hands together for Moyosoriwa presentation.
I would like to acknowledge the presence of our professors, the pioneers of programs, and everyone that's here for this our ceremony. So, thank you, Giseb, once again for the opportunity to present. This is the first time that I will be in this kind of presentation, and I'm really glad for what I was able to take out of it. So, my presentation topic was on public health and behaviorism. It was about, sorry. So it's about implementing behaviorism-based health education programs for community well-being in Nigeria. So we all know that public health is not really emphasized in this part of the world. And a lot of communities, a lot of villages in Nigeria are suffering from inaccessibility to basic and proper health care due to the fact that most times people that come in the bid to bring those health care to them are not conversant with their traditions and their cultures, and this leads to hiccups and issues in their communication and the way for them to propagate the right health behaviors in the lives of all these people in this community. And most times, due to the techniques that they use and all the studies that they use to try to make this implementation, it always doesn't work out because it doesn't, I feel like it doesn't speak to the inner healthy man of an average Yoruba man living in Eko or living in Ilesha. So yeah, so this implementation was a way to try to see how we can implement behaviorism to help the likes of people in the community. So one of the major highlights in this presentation was about how we would make culture a way of reaching all of these people. We want to make sure that their language is being taught and their traditional rulers, those people they hold in high esteem, are used for this implementation. That way they don't feel left out in what is supposed to benefit them. They feel included and they also understand the point of view of people that are coming to bring in this health implementation. And I feel like that way is even going to give better results. And then also, we also wanted to highlight the fact that Nigeria and West Africa at large is different from other continents and other parts of the world. The ideologies that we use for public health in Europe might not really be applicable to a continent like ours due to diverse groups, diverse cultures. I mean, in Nigeria, we have over 250 ethnic groups. That's especially the ones that are not even really emphasized or the ones that are not really exposed to public eye. And then we have thousands of that. I'm not exaggerating when I say thousands of languages because even in the southwestern parts of Nigeria, the Yoruba that we have, the other Yoruba is different from Ekiti, it's different from Giseb, and we also know that the Yoruba is obviously the hardest Yoruba to ever learn. Then moving on to Hausa, where I even hear that there is, apart from Hausa and Fulani that everybody knows, there's I can't even pronounce some of the ones that are very, but then all of these cultures are in different parts of Nigeria, So we wanted to highlight the fact that if all of this approach that we use is successful here in Nigeria, we are sure of a high success rate in West Africa because we can see similarities in the communities of Nigeria in other West African countries. So in a nutshell, so that's what the presentation is all about. We said we should start feeding people, we don't really be able to use the time that we have. Alright, so yeah, I think that's really it. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Let's answer that. I would like to call on the next speaker. The person of Oadawi, Thomas. Let's dance with that for me.
Good afternoon, everyone. I want to stand on the same protocol. I want to say hello to all the professors that are here, and the members for the program, for the opportunity given to me to showcase my work. And the presentation was on citizens and characterization of 8356 TPSA composites for automotive engine application. Now, TPSA means Base Palm Steel Ash. Okay, so basically what this work was about was that we discovered that aluminium is one of the most used materials currently because of its lightweight and other properties, but the strength of aluminium at high temperature compared to steel is very low. So usually we add secondary materials to aluminium to make it stronger, and then these secondary materials are usually ceramics. Ceramic like silicon carbide, like aluminum, and these materials are not produced here in Nigeria. However, previous studies have found that we can find some of these beautiful ceramic materials inside our agricultural waste fields. So several authors have used Some agricultural waste like rice or starch, coconut shell, periwinkle, and different other agricultural waste. But not so many are worked on the use of this palm seed. Now, many of us know this in our working cells, this sugary from the cell. Usually when we eat this, we just throw the seed that we are working about, right? If you pick that seed, try to bite it, so it's very, very hard. I also tried to use hammer to crush it. It was very, very difficult to crush with hammer. And again, you look at it very well, it's also very, very light. Which shows that if I add this material to my medium, it will improve the strength. Alright? At the same time, you don't want to improve the strength and improve the weight. Because the benefit of aluminium alloy is that it is lightweight. So we use it for automotive parts currently. We are replacing the steam cast iron coupling engine with that. We use it for aeronautical applications. So if we add the reinforcement that is going to increase the weight, it means that we are decreasing the levels of aluminium in constantly. So we take palm seed in this study showed to be a lightweight reinforcement. And at the end of the study, we found that the PCS, ultimate energy strength, the strength of aluminium, increased by almost 40%. Its hardness also improved. The corrosion resistance also improved. The reports also show that the aluminum palm ash composite could withstand corrosion in sodium hydroxide environments, which also makes it a suitable material in process industry where they deal with a lot of basic chemicals, alkaline chemicals. So we find that they can be used in process industries. We're able to produce sheet metal from it. We're able to roll and produce sheet metal from it. We're also able to produce a demo component from it. If the sheet metal will produce from it. Last slide, we're also able to produce a demo engine block, engine cylinder from it. This is what we're able to produce this from it. So that is the essence, that is the summary of my research. Thank you, Giseb, for the opportunity. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Thomas. Let's put our hands together for you, please. So before I invite our second guest speaker, I would just like the DJ to give us just a soft music. Let's have some. Okay. Our second guest speaker is a person of Dr. Ismail Adesina Raji. So as I invite Dr. Ismail Adesina Raji, please, I want us to give him his hand innovation. With a round of applause, please. I'll be reading Dr. Ismail Adesina Raji's profile. Dr. Ismail Adesina Raji is a reader in the Department of Educational Management, Faculty of Education, University of Ibadan, Nigeria. Dr. Raji's works are particularly important in Nigeria's education landscape. His research highlights how environmental issues impact school resources, which relates directly to teacher effectiveness and learning outcomes. As a scholar, his insights help guide education policy and school leadership improvements. He has successfully completed supervising 10 PhD and 75 master's degrees, while respective 6 and 7 others are ongoing. Also, he has examined 16 PhD candidates, 12 as internal external examiner, and 4 as external examiner. Between 1st August 2023 and 31st April 2025, that he was acting head, Department of Educational Management, University of Ibadan. He chaired 46 PhD oral examination and facilitated the execution of this for 5 others. Faculty of Education, University of Ibadan, Nigeria. He is a member of faculty facilitating the MSc Sports Management and Policy Development of Pan-African University. He has 53 publications in reputable outlets and enjoys collaboration with academic within and outside Nigeria. He has served at different levels of university administration. He was the postgraduate coordinator for 2016 to 2020 sessions, processing students' admission and registration, organizing examinations, and processing examination results in the Department of Educational Management. He was a member of the Faculty Business and Faculty Postgraduate Committees from 2015 to 2019 and from 2022 to 2025. He was a member of Senate of the University of Ibadan on 3 occasions and member of the University Council and Senate Joint Committee on naming of streets and buildings in 2018. He was a member of Senate of Achievers University of Nigeria from 2021 to 2022. Dr. Raji was the chairman of Senate Committee on Policy Enhancement for Makeup Examinations at the Achievers University of He has been a reviewer of abstracts of this and depth of this for he has been a reviewer of abstracts of thesis and depth of thesis for the Postgraduate College, University of Ibadan since 2019. He was the acting head, Department of Educational Management, University of Ibadan, Nigeria, from 1st August 2023 to 31st July 2025. Dr. Raji has some academic awards to his credit. Among the awards, the Best Graduating Students Awards of the Department of Educational Management and Faculty of Education, University of Ibadan in 1994. Also, he was an awardee of the University of Ibadan Postgraduate Scholarship in 1994. Very recently, he won the Best Presenter Award at the 2025 conference of the African Academic Research Forum held in Pretoria, South Africa from 7th to 11th July 2025. As a guest speaker for the 2025 Research Symposium Award Ceremony, Dr. Raji will present on the topic Beyond the Degree, Growing a Passion for Research That Lasts. He's going to share his insights on encouraging young researchers to view research as a lifelong pursuit of curiosity, discovery, and impact, not a school requirement. You're welcome, sir. I'm proud of the man that become. You can have what is my own. Only you savage, the chairman of this forum, distinguished professors in the house, distinguished awardees, ladies and gentlemen. The task before me is the presentation on the topic Beyond the Degree, Growing a Passion for Research That Lasts. I want to touch 5 sub-themes, and they are the end, that's a beginning. The end, that's a beginning. The end, that is a beginning. And that is followed by rediscovering curiosity. The third, building a sustainable relationship with research. The fourth, finding purpose and impact. And finally, building a lifelong growth mindset. I will not take so much of your time. I will be as brief as possible. The end, that's a beginning, is my introduction. Your degrees at all levels. Bachelor degree, master's degree, PhD. They are ends in their own rights. They are ends. So when you finish them, you finish them. But they are not ends to your curiosity in life.
They are not ends to your quest for knowledge. Even that degree you hold is what a structured learning in that field. It doesn't exhaust all that are there to be learned in that field. Very recently, the National Universities Commission imposed on us a curriculum that is called CC Maths. The core curriculum of our various degrees, minimum academic standard. Thank you. Many private universities embrace it immediately, but many of us in the public system did not, we were not very comfortable with it because of the long years of history and experience and the name that our institutions have built over years. Our curricula distinguish us. But here we find ourselves in a situation whereby the NUC says they take 70%. Whatever you next you want to bring it in through your 30%. I mentioned this because just to tell us that even that degree you have has not exhausted all you need to know in that field. Be it PhD, and of course for PhD, what do you do there? You know much about something in particular. That's what your PhD is all about. That's your title. You know as much as the environment enables you to know about it. And by the environment, I usually use the best two analysis. P, S, T, L, E. The P is political. The E is economic. S is social cultural. The T is technological. The L is the legal environment. And the E is ecological. All these, they are the things I packaged in South Africa that hand me that award there. Your degree is limited in scope. That's all the sweat I've made so far. And your degree is also limited in time. If after your degree, we don't see evidence that you are reading and you are writing for 5 years, go and review that degree. It is obsolete. It is deep. And of course, no employer will engage you if you have not been doing anything for 5 years after your degree. And if after your degree you have been doing something that is completely outside that your degree, and you are not developing yourself in that thing you are doing, I am very sure it will be difficult for you to change the organizations where you work. I give an example. An individual has BSc political science, but finds himself in a classroom teaching government, but fails to do postgraduate diploma in education or enroll for education courses, will be at the mercy of that employer where he finds himself. For if anything happens, he will just be roaming the streets for him. So that your degree has time. So that's why I said, that degree limits you. But that degree provides you an opportunity, a leverage to see the world beyond your capacity. That's why you have people with BA Yoruba working in banks. One of the abstracts that we have here, written by my son, he read philosophy And while he's in that faculty of arts, he said that I'm interested in, what is it? Data management, digital this, and he went into that, and he didn't write on philosophy. He wrote on controlling, stampede, and whatever. And this forum recognizes it. So to say, don't allow that degree to limit you. And beyond the degree means moving from that structured learning that you had in the classroom to self-driven discovery. Moving then from the experience of your degree, the classroom, your BA research, your MSc research, your PhD research, moving from that to self-driven discovery. And you are able to do this by getting yourselves involved in research, as we shall see under curiosity. The completion of a good research marks the beginning of another one. Because each time you complete a research and you are sincere to the world, you must have limitations of yours only. You must have things that you first you should have done. But for some other reasons, this research could not do, then the work continues. Rediscovering curiosity. Curiosity is the heart of lasting research passion. If you are not a curious individual, you will not have passion for research. So it is essential that you are curious. What begins the research in the first place? Then you answer other questions. Why? How? Where? When? And when you finish the research, another question about what will come. What if? And this is what will enable you to continue to move on and moving on. And building a sustainable relationship with research. You need to avoid burnout by balancing your passion with patience. You don't rush. By rushing, you don't do quality work. That is very common among us here. We just want to count the number. Then again, if you keep rushing, there is tendency that you break down along the way. Then you need to consider and cultivate interdisciplinary thinking and collaboration. Interdisciplinary thinking and collaboration. Much has been said about interdisciplinary research and work. We are in a world now that no field of knowledge operates singly on its own. You just have to work with others. There are instances that educators must engage engineers in their research to solve societal problems. There are times that health-related problems among students cannot be handled only by medical practitioners, medical researchers. They have to also engage teachers. So by collaborating, it becomes easier for you to break frontier of knowledge, and you generate stronger ideas. That adage says, 2 good eggs are always better than 1. And by collaborating, the journey becomes faster, easier. You also become richer if you collaborate with the right kind of people. Let me mention this. South African universities rank higher than Nigerian universities. It is not that South Africans are more brilliant than we are. Numbers 1, 2, 3 at that conference in July in Pretoria. 2 of us are Nigerians, but I had the first place. The third place also went to a Nigerian, but lecturing in South Africa. Only 1 out of the 3 went to South Africa. So, what the South African universities do, they collaborate with many of us here as research associates. They recruit our products as postdoctoral students and postdoctoral researchers. And for every publication, they are paid. I'm also working on opportunities like that for myself at my level. That I should be having postdocs from other countries. I'm joining colleagues from South Africa, so I'll be waiting for UI to ask me why is my name appearing under the University of South Africa. I'll tell them because I need the money. This is what ASU is telling Nigerian government. And I will encourage as many as our products that look, your life must move on. In a way, I'm also telling you at this forum, our researchers, upcoming researchers, they are involved in research. If you collaborate appropriately. Keep learning new methods and new technologies. This can only happen through research. There is no other way you can know new things. And I do tell researchers, PhD students, master degree students, there are conferences at your backyard and you don't attend. What is your problem? Maybe probably those of us in that faculty are somehow, even from childhood, that I don't have, even at PhD level. That's why that this program was advertised there. The poster was posted. Education students did not subscribe. Finding purpose and impact. You need to connect your personal interests to real-world impact. That's very essential. You can achieve this through research. The only way, the major way you can connect your personal interests to real-world impact, a very major way that is very cost-effective, is through research. And you also need to reflect on how research can contribute to society beyond the publications. This you do by solving problems that are peculiar to the society. By using research to solve problems that are peculiar to the society, it's more than publications. The major problem around us here now is entrepreneurship. Nigeria has so many graduates, but our philosophy of training graduates has not changed. The submission we have from ASU reports of 1959 is to establish universities that will train graduates who will now become managers of offices that the workman will live in. But we are still creating universities, whereas the offices for them to manage are no longer there. So we are now confronted with the problem of entrepreneurship, that our degree holders should redirect their thinking away from seeking employment to being employers of labor. So the next time probably we will have researchers who will be submitting concepts on entrepreneurship to this forum. Then building a lifelong growth mindset. Building a lifelong growth mindset. As I said earlier on, research does not end with the P. With a B, with MA or MSc, we know that it has not really gotten anywhere. But with PhD, somebody that will be tempted to think that I do tell PhD students, look, you are just like a carpentry apprentice who is just celebrating the freedom ceremony. That does not mean you should go far away from your master who trained you. A mechanic, a master of mechanic, a mechanic that has been doing that job for 20 years, will have a Midas touch on that engine. And so if you just did your what you call freedom 2 years ago, you see yourself struggling at times that you have to call your guy on phone. If they, those illiterate do that, then you PhD students, you will have to be running to your supervisors, to your mentors from time to time. And that is why it is easy for people who have mentors to rise faster than for others who don't have. So, research evolves with you. Research develops with your own concepts. So it is about who you are that makes you in the research world. I encourage you to mentor other people.
Try to find it, discover it very, very hard.
To share knowledge.
I also try to use hammer to crush it.
And to continue asking questions. Those questions about what? About how? What is the current problem in this society? How can we go about it? And if the massive problem is far away from what you studied in the university, then you collaborate with people. You look for people with whom you run minds to get good ideas. So, sorry, this technology. So, in conclusion, our degree is a milestone. It is not a finish line. Oh, yes. So, my message here today is that you should keep asking. You should keep exploring. And you should keep creating knowledge. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Let's give you a round of applause, please. Dr. Ismail Adesina, he said some things that got me thinking about, I don't know if it is only. He said something like the end as the beginning. Like, if you are a researcher, if you think the end of, for example, personally, I am a researcher as well. I just completed my master's degree. And to me, I sometimes when I look at my thesis, I feel like, wow, I achieved something. But on the other hand, as a researcher, that is the beginning of another research. That's one. Then secondly, he said, as a researcher, you have to balance your passion with patience. You don't have to. Thank you very much. I want to invite two of our finalists to come up with their presentations. And for this round of presentations, it covers two categories. The first one is the best undergraduate researcher, the person of Omiyinka Samuel Victor. Please, let's put that
Thank you very much. I'm very grateful. Standing on existing protocols, my name is Omiyinka Samuel, and I'm a final mechanical engineering student at the University of Ibadan. My innovative project idea is on the development and performance evaluation of a low-cost dual remote suction device for emergency medical care. Basically, I'll just paint a picture of what the project is about. Okay, thank you very much. So, generally, we have what we call suction devices, and currently there are of two types. They are either the electrically powered one or the manually operated ones. And what happens is that in the low resource settings, that means places that the rural areas, what tends to happen is that whenever there is airway obstruction, that means there is airway obstruction, as I said, the device you are supposed to use is the electrically powered one or the manually operated one. Now, in these low resource settings, these two existing suction devices, they have certain limitations, and it is this limitation that they have in these low resource settings that this my innovative project idea has come to tackle. And these limitations range from these limitations range from the fact that the electrically powered one, as a result of the unstable power grid in Nigeria, in these low resource settings, when there is a case of emergency and you want to use this electrically powered one, most of the time they are not usually available as a result of this unstable power supply in Nigeria. And aside from that, they are usually very expensive, about 240,000 naira to 300,000 naira. And yeah, so for that reason, most of the time they are not. And aside from that, another key disadvantage they have in low resource settings is that after like about a year, they tend to get damaged because they are not usually used often. And when they get damaged like that, most of these devices, they have custom-made parts. So for that reason, you have to either order the parts, and the cost of ordering the parts is usually as much as the amount you used to acquire them to start with. So most of the time, they just dispose them of and just get another one. And then for the manually operated one, they have two major shortcomings. The first shortcoming, even though they are cheap and they are usually available, the major shortcoming they have is the fact that they are able to provide the sufficient pressure that will be able to remove the fluid from the patient's airway. So that's basically what I can say. So, and for that reason, I now came up with this dual mode suction device, such that we will merge the power of the two existing suction devices. So for the electrically powered one, instead of it to be dependent on electricity, this time around we use solar. And so, but then we know that solar is kind of expensive. That's like the next thing we want to say. But then it's a modular device, so we'll be using a very big solar, just a modular device as you can see in this picture. And then for that reason, this device will always be available for that reason. So, and in cases of bad weather, majorly, the solar is unable to, because there will be a rechargeable battery where the energy is going to be stored. So it's not the time that we're going to be using the solar. So in cases of bad weather, when the solar is not available and maybe the battery has run down, then there will be a manual backup. So the backup will be manually operated, just as the normal manual backup, the normal manually operated one. But this time around, it's just serving strictly as a backup. So it won't be used as often as the standalone manually operated one. So, and this device is not as expensive as the electrically powered one. It's just about 177,000 naira. Yeah, 277,000 naira. Even though it's a little bit more expensive than the manually operated one, it has bridged that gap as a result of its what's it called, reliability. It's always available all the time. So what's the manually operated one? The standalone manually operated one cannot achieve it. It can achieve it at just a little higher cost than the manually operated one. So that's not like the summary of, and this is a comparative analysis made between the electrically operated one and the electrically powered one and the manually operated one. Yeah. So all of those things are already said. And this is a flow chart of how the device works. And this is the 3D model of the proposed device. And these are the expected outcomes. Once I'm done with the device, a performance evaluation is going to be carried out to verify that, okay, this device is working. So one of the things we are going to be verifying is the pressure. There are set pressures in which these suction devices are expected to operate. So they are expected to operate, and this is in accordance with the guideline, guidelines supported by the World Health Organization. So this pressure is between the range of 60 to 200 millimeters of mercury. So this device has to be able to operate within this pressure. So that's the first thing we are going to be carrying out performance evaluation on. And then the next thing we are going to be carrying out performance evaluation on is the range of fluid in which this device can suction. So they have 3 categories of fluid. We have low viscosity fluid, but because we'll be using actual secretion that will be found in the human airway, like blood and maybe vomit, so we won't be using the actual one because it's just a prototype. So we're using representative fluids. So for the low viscosity fluid, we'll be using water to test. So if it can suction water, so our belief is that it can also suction the something like watery blood and suction that. So then if for the second one, we'll be testing for medium viscosity fluids like corn starch solution. So if it can suction this as well, then we believe it can suction the actual secretion such as blood. So then for the final one, the high viscosity one, we have engine oil. That's what we're going to be using. So if it can do these things, then that's when we say, okay, this device can suction any range of fluid and it can operate within a large range of pressure. So those are the things we are going to be carrying out performance evaluation on. And this is the clinical impact of this device. And this impact is that there are many things in the world that are that could have many deaths that happen in the world that could have actually been prevented. So if this device comes to life, I'm currently fabricating this the prototype version of this device. If it comes to life, what it means is that it would have contributed to 50 to 70% reduction in avoidable airway obstruction, and not just even airway obstructions only, the overall avoidable deaths, many deaths that would have been avoided. So it will contribute about 50 to 70% reduction in that. And then the next, then the target users, who are we making this device for? It's not, so we are making this device for rural clinics, ambulances, NGOs, and in addition, individuals. So individuals can also get this device and use them at home. And then the channels, how are we getting this device to them? Through hospitals, through NGOs as well, health centers, and then the resources. So how do we get the resources, the materials we are going to be using to develop this device? To get support from local manufacturers, labs, solar suppliers. I said I'll be using solar panel, and then the revenue streams. How are we getting money? So after getting this device to the market, so those are so then the contribution to knowledge. What overall knowledge does this device, the implementation of this device bring about? It shows that mechanical engineering can directly save lives by developing adaptable, sustained solutions, and its significance is that it strengthens life-saving capacity in underserved regions. Its limitation, however, for now is the fact that it can only be strictly for fluids. But then, if there is, that's where the course action comes in. When support for final prototyping and scaling phase to deploy a life-saving solution across the area, then maybe it can be scaled up to the solid ones. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Samuel, for the presentation.
Let's start solar for millions.
I'd like to call on the second speaker. The third speaker, sorry. And for this category, is the overall best researcher, the person of the speaker. Let's announce the
That's what I thought before I took the ride.
Alright, good afternoon, everybody. It's standing on the radio existing protocol. My name is Giseb, and I'm the 500 level engineering student from the University of Ibadan. And my innovative ideas experimental investigation on solar absorption refrigeration system using activated charcoal and methanol as the working field. Next slide, please. Alright, those not to waste anybody's time. Now imagine a country like Nigeria where electricity is readily absent and present. And imagine rural areas that are all free and they need access to a way to preserve their stores, transport vaccines and the likes. And this actually serves as a problem statement. This actually serves as a problem statement. Right, and we are developing solar absorption in the sense that this refrigeration system is being powered by solar, and all the material we'll be using for this particular application are low cost, readily available material. We are not buying solar panel, everything to be developed. Now, despite what's the abundance of sunlight in Nigeria, many rural communities still suffer from refrigeration system. They say that they have to depend on electricity or diesel powered refrigeration system, and that is where my innovation comes in. Next slide, please. Now, what we'll be using on the normal refrigeration system, that's electricity powered, we use the normal refrigerant of R148, and like for this particular system or design, we'll be using activated charcoal and methanol as working there. Now, the activated charcoal is serving as the absorbent, and the methanol is serving as the refrigerant. So now that is where the absorption comes in. Next slide, please. Now, what is the core idea? Is to develop a solar powered absorption refrigeration system that replaces electricity drilling compressor in thermally activated circuit. Now, this time around, we are not depending on the compressor or anything, completely solar powered. Next slide, please. Okay, now why are we using this system, or how does this system work? It said that after the system has been fabricated, the methanol will be charged into the system via vacuum pump and the likes. And the methanol goes straight to, please go straight to my design, my 3D design. Yes, and this is the absorbent plate, which serves as the solar collector. And this is our condenser, and below this box is our evaporator. Now, this box serves as the cooling compartment. How does it work? When we charge the methanol through this particular valve, it goes straight to the absorption bed where it's absorbed at the pore spaces of the activated carbon. Right? So when it is heated under heavy sunlight or under the sun, under our solar system, it converts it into vapor. Now that vapor is being transported to the condenser. At this point, the vaporized methanol turns into liquid in the condenser, which is transported to the evaporator, which in the next slide, please. Yeah, exactly. Now, when it turns into liquid in the condenser, it goes straight to the evaporator. Now, this is the cooling compartment, and as the methanol absorbs it from whatever it is, like a cooling, whether it is your vaccine, whether it's your food, or whatever it is that you want to preserve, the methanol gradually turns into vapor and goes back to the collection bed. And this is the same, it keeps repeating itself. You don't need to charge in another methanol. It's not for a very long period of time. And as an engineering student, knowing the conditions want to subject the system to have to write the MATLAB code explaining how the system works, that is the performance of this system. And we can see that as the generator temperature increases, the coefficient of performance, which is the metric we use in assessing the performance of our refrigeration, also increases to a particular peak value where we have maximum cooling capacity business line. And also you might be interested to know for how long can this system last. Let's assume it rains all day and there's no sunlight. Definitely this system can work. It can retain the temperature of whatever it is you're trying to preserve for up to 10 hours, right? Up to 10 hours without what's the name? The vaccine carrier is detachable stuff. So you can remove it from the system and preserve it inside. Let's say there's no sunlight and you still have access to whatever it is you are trying to preserve at that same temperature, because this is a well insulated system. So how does this support SDG? Support SDG, which is affordable and clean energy. It does not impose any form of risk to the environment, good health and well-being, industry innovation and infrastructure. It is an industry design that helps in ensuring that there are more ideal ways of preserving vaccines, of preserving our foodstuffs and climate action. It does not release any harmful toxic substance that has a way of affecting our solar system. Now, this is just a down chart to show the visibility of the system. Apparently, it's actually a work in progress and currently in the fabrication stage of the system. And that is basically what my innovation and my design idea is all about. And that is the experimental investigation of solar absorption refrigeration system using activated charcoal and methanol as the working field. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that presentation. Let's put down together for people. On our third and the last speaker for the day, the person of Professor Olugbega A. Falode. Can we please put our hands together for Professor? And also, I'd like to call on Professor today to come for the recitation of Professor Falode's profile. Thank you. Let's give progress and innovation as it makes it real. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can you please have our seats?
Yeah.
It's a pleasure for me to read the citation of our highly respected father, Professor Olugbega Adebanjo Falode. Professor Olugbega Adebanjo Falode is a distinguished academic and professional in the field of petroleum engineering. Currently serving as Director, Center for Petroleum Energy Economics and Law, and by his grade, is also double at the head of Department of Mineral, Petroleum, Energy Economics and Law. Professor Falode has many degrees to his credits. He has BSc Chemistry from the University of Jos. He has a degree in chemical engineering. He has a degree in MSc PhD in petroleum engineering. Can we acknowledge that? I'm trying to recruit the bits of his profile because if I continue to do his profile, we may not leave this place today. And he has been the head of the department of petroleum engineering, petroleum engineering, program on so many occasions. And lastly, he served as not only as the head of the Department of Petroleum Engineering program, he served as the chairman committee of head of petroleum engineering in the whole Nigeria. Professor Falode's research interest encompasses material science, enhanced oil recovery, mathematical modeling of nonlinear flow problems in petroleum engineering, flow assurance, formation damage prediction, control, carbon capture, and so many others. His work has been supported by several research grants. Among them are Denton, PTDL, Petroleum Development Fund. Professor Falode is a registered engineer, an active member of several professional organizations, including the Society of Petroleum Engineers in Nigeria, the Society of Engineers, the American Association of Science and Technology, and the International Association of Energy economics, career content class. He has been involved in reservoir and drilling engineering study for major oil companies, some as Shell Petroleum Company, others Chevron in Nigeria. Because I'm going to be a consultant to different companies, particularly in the oil and gas industry, which I have also benefited since 2011. He has been able to help solve many problems in the industry. He is currently a member of the University of Ibadan State and has been recognized with several awards. Including Macarthur Grant as a visiting researcher in North Carolina State University in 2006. He also had a certificate from France in University, so in France. And he is committed to graduate education, research, and community development, continue to shape the future of energy study in Nigeria and across the globe. As a distinguished guest speaker for the 2025 National Research Symposium, I was ceremony. Our distinguished Professor Balodi will be presenting on the missing link connecting academia, industry, and national growth, sharing his insight on bringing research, industry innovation, and national development of sustainable progress. It is my pleasure to welcome this icon to the podium for the presentation.
Good afternoon, everyone. Is the afternoon good? I believe it's very good. Okay, so before I start, I would like to recognize if there is any couple here. Any couple? Is there any couple in the house? Yeah? So many? Okay, the oldest couple, please. I want to recognize you. Please, can you be on your feet, please? Everybody. Where is she? Oh, okay, so if you are here and you are not yet married,
I'm never yet married.
How many of you are here and not married? Oh yeah, please stand. Oh yeah, stand. Are you shy? No. You don't be a teacher. How by okay, inside the car. I want you to give a round of applause for this. I know the other couples are not very much. I hope you know why I do that. Does anybody have an answer to that? Thank you. So is the missing one. As I was coming for this meeting, I had to ask my wife, please, which color of cap should I use? She had to choose. So, on that note, I want to, Mr. Chairman, distinguished professors, Dr. Raji is been long. I thought you have done actually. I don't know you are still in country. Distinguished professors here present, esteemed colleagues, brilliant students, and of course the awardees. Good afternoon, or should I say good innovation. It's a joy to stand before what I call this sea of ingenuity and intellect. What I've seen today from some of our students are really impressive. If ideas were oil, this oil will be an energy superpower by now. We are gathered together under the auspices of Giseb for a most fitting theme, a missing link connecting academia, industry, and national growth. But I rather title it the missing bone, connecting academia and industry for natural growth. The case of Adam and Eve. In this allegory, Adam represents academia. That's the origin of knowledge, the origin of curiosity, the origin of discovery. So Adam is the thinker, is the explorer, is the one who names and categorizes the world. Yet, like the Adam of old, is incomplete in solitude. Eve represents industry, the embodiment of application, innovation, and growth. She takes what is known and transforms it into what is possible, breathing life into knowledge through creation and use. But as in the ancient narrative, it is not good for man to be alone. Academia without industry risks sterility, ideas without impact, knowledge without purpose. Industry without academia, in turn, loses direction. Innovation without understanding, progress without wisdom. Their connection, the missing bone, symbolizes the bridge between knowledge and application, between theory and practice, between discovery and delivery. Only when this connection is restored does true, sustainable, and natural growth emerge. Together, Adam and Eve, I said, academia and industry can cultivate the garden of innovation, ensuring that what begins in the mind blossoms in the world. It's a team that sounds like a detective novel, the case of the missing link. And in a sense, it is. Because we are all detectives searching for clues to connect the research in our papers with the realities in our factories, the realities in our farms and cities. Next. You see, academia and industry, they have been like two old friends who live in the same city but never visit each other. They keep promising, we must catch up soon. And then another year passes. Academia dreams in equations. I can tell you some of your professors who are here, they know how to write equations, differential equations. But industry dreams in profits. But national growth dreams in results. Missing link is that golden handshake. That's the missing link. That's golden handshake. The bridge that carries ideas from the laboratory to the marketplace, from the classroom to the construction site, and from imagination to implementation. Next. So, academia and industry, they are old friends who rarely visit. And that's what you see there. Next. Next. So, as an engineer, I can tell you, we don't just solve problems. We invent new ones to solve them. So, engineering sits beautifully between science and society. Science asks why. Engineering asks why not. So from the bridges we cross to the phones that we check too often, from skyscrapers to satellites, engineers quietly make the world spin smoother, safer, and smarter. But here is the rub. Too often, our brilliant research ends up buried in conference posters. That's even good enough. Most research ideas are buried in the shelves in the office of the professor that nobody outside the university library ever reads. We must ensure our theories take off their lab coats and wear safety helmets, ready for the real world. Now, why does this link keep breaking? Let's be honest. Sometimes we academics are guilty of living in a paradise called publish or perish. We chase impact factors, not actual impact. Industry, on the other hand, is busy saying we would love to collaborate, but could you finish by next quarter? Different planets, same orbit, then comes government, our third mosquito. Sometimes supportive, sometimes silent, and sometimes still forming a committee to discuss the last committee's report. But jokes aside, these three, academia, industry, and government, are like the three legs of a stool. Remove one, and you don't sit, you tumble. Next. That is why the triple helix model is not just a concept, it is a choreography. Academia brings the rhythm of discovery, industry adds the beats of innovation, and government provides the tempo of policy. When they dance together, innovation becomes music. When they dance apart, we get just noise. Countries like Finland, Singapore, and Germany have learned this rhythm well, and their economies want to the tune of collaboration. Yes. Let's draw some inspiration from the great innovators of our time. Steve Jobs, that barefoot philosopher of Silicon Valley, once said, "Innovation distinguishes a leader from a follower." He turned gadgets into art, proving that design and engineering are two sides of genius. Elon Musk, the man who wants to colonize Mars, builds rockets that came out to say, "I forgot my phone." It shows us how audacity and applied science can stretch the limits of imagination. Satya Nadella, the thoughtful CEO of Microsoft, reminds us that technology is not just about code, it is about compassion. He turned a corporate guidance into a learning organization, collaborating with universities and startups around the world. Right here on African soil, Dr. Olubisi Ekekwe, who helped design the iPhone's microchips, and Dr. Ola Brown, who engineered medical logistics through 5 Doctors Africa, prove that billions knows no borders. Each of these innovators builds bridges between dreams and devices, between curiosity and commerce. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the essence of our missing link. Next. So true national growth isn't just how much we earn, it's how much we learn. A nation grows not by exporting raw materials, but by exporting refined knowledge. By turning made in into invented in. Imagine a nation where our engineers design solar grids that light rural homes. Our civil engineers build flood-resistant smart cities. Our mechanical engineers automate agriculture so farmers can finally rest on Sundays. That is national growth. Powered by innovation, guided by education, and grounded in collaboration. Next. Behind every innovation is not a machine, but a mind. We must nurture creative confidence, not just memorization. We must raise engineers who can think, and translate ideas into impact. Because in the end, the best engineering product is not steel, it's not software, it is the people. Next. Now let's turn our spotlight to today's week heroes. Our awardees for today. You are the proof that the missing link can indeed be found and strengthened through your research, your inventions and leadership. You have shown that academia and industry are not rivals, but partners in progress. Each awardee here today is a verse in the poem of national development, a melody of excellence, persistence, and purpose. So to you, I say, keep building bridges. Ladies and gentlemen, if we are to find and fix this missing link, we must each pick up a wrench, figuratively, of course, and tighten the bolts of collaboration. Let's promise to work together. Let's promise to listen more. Let's promise to share credit. Let's promise to celebrate it and to make failure less frightening and success more share. When academia, industry, and government finally pull in the same direction, innovation stops being an exception and becomes our expectation. As engineers, we are dreamers in arts. We draw blueprints of possibility and we build them into reality. We don't just connect wires, we connect walls. So today, we celebrate ideas and we celebrate innovators. Let's remember the bridge between knowledge and prosperity is not built with concrete. It is built with collaboration, with courage, with curiosity. To our awardees, shine on. To our researchers, keep questioning. To our industries, keep partnering. And to our beloved nation, keep growing. Together, let's not just find a missing link. Let's build the link. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That is deeper than it seems. Thank you so much again, Prof, for the presentation.
We've had brilliant presentations today, both from the guest speakers, honorable guest speakers, the presenters. Thank you. Now we are in our waited session. What we're waiting for the presentation of our students. The presentation of our, I would like to call Professor Oludeyinka Falode. To give award to Professor Olusegun Olufemi Ajide, the chairman of the Symposium, everything that everyone was advised on how to go about. One of the main things that we needed assistance, mentorship, we was the Symposium. She really welcomed us. We were very happy with the idea and we have been working with us so far. So we like
So, on behalf of Giseb National Research Symposium 2025, I would like to present this award of excellence to you in recognitions of your exceptional leadership, unwavering commitment, and invaluable contribution to the growth and success of the Global Institute for Science
engineering and business management.
Alright, now we would like to present awards to our guest speakers. When we reached out to them, they all accepted and we really appreciate them. We are so happy with the way they welcomed us, their fatherly love and motherly love. So we would love to present awards to them. And I'm sure we all enjoyed the presentation and we learned a lot from you. Thank you very much. So like Professor Falode, I would like Professor Ajide to present awards to Professor Falode. Award of LLM to Professor Falode. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. On behalf of Giseb, the Global Institute for Science, Engineering, and Business Management, of National Research Symposium 2025, to present this award of excellence to present to Professor Olugbega A. Falode in appreciation of the ingenuity, presentation, and commitment to advancing research and innovation.
When I saw her profile, she really inspired me. When I was in French, I told me, like, not just anyway. They told me when they asked me, what is your name? I'll say, my name is Professor Bolake. So being a female professor, you really inspired me.
Again, on behalf of Giseb, the Global Institute for Science, Engineering, and Business Management, in respect of National Research Symposium 2025, we are presenting this award of excellence to Professor Sekina Adejoke Kola Aderoju in appreciation of the ingenuity, presentation, and contribution commitment in advancing research and innovation this day, 3rd November 2025. Thank you, ma'am.
Let me tell you another story because of the guest star. Okay, you know I told you I wanted to be a professor. I still want to be a professor, but I think not professor for like okay. So the next person will be calling me. For someone encouraged to say I want to be a professor for like it wasn't just come. So because I grew up among academics. I was opportune to be among lecturers. So I would like to call them by you and she like my dad. When I told you that I want you to be there, no, I told you let's have PhD for that's the type of my
Thank you very much. As a preamble to the actual presentation, I'm also excited. I'm also happy that one of our advisors and that we serve together as a member of the Postgraduate College Board, as for me, from 2021, and when he also joined us when he became the head of department of educational management. So it is a pleasure for me. Now to the business. On behalf of the Global Institute for Science, Engineering, and Business Management, in respect of National Research Symposium 2025, is pleased to present this award of excellence to Dr. Ismail A. Raji in recognition of their ingenuity, presentation, and commitment to advancing research and innovation this day, 1st November 2025. Congratulations, sir.
So now, we've been on this symposium for different planning, different things that we've done, from the call for abstracts to the webinar. I'm sure some of us trained webinar.
When I got, I realized that people need to effort get noticed, and I'm so excited that I made it to the finals. And I would like to appreciate Giseb for this opportunity because it actually made me realize that I can research and I can be noticed. Actually, this is my first time of presenting and I made it to the finals. So thank you, Giseb, and thank you everyone that supported me.
For National Research Symposium 2025, presented to Mr. Valens Olajide Amos in recognition of the outstanding
Okay, my name is Adeyemi Daniela, the best female presenter or researcher for the Global Institute of Science and Engineering and Business Management. I'm grateful for this opportunity. I'm grateful to God at first because it's of His mercy that I'm here at first. And then I'm grateful for Giseb for the opportunity. I'm thankful for this opportunity, to be honest. And I'm grateful for my family, for my lecturer, my professor, for their approach, and even for the opportunity to intern where I get the topic. Because public health is not really my forte, but then we did it there. So thank God. I'm grateful to everyone that participated in this way. It's not only for me, it's for everybody, and to just show that we can do great things in Nigeria. Yeah, thank you very much for this opportunity, Giselle. Thank you, God.
How do you feel about today's National Research Symposium Award ceremony? Alright, I feel noticed because I was given a consolation prize, even though I was not given an award prize. But the fact that a consolation prize was given to me, I feel noticed, and I'm so glad to be here. I know you presented at the final stage. Can you tell us briefly about your presentation? Yeah, I presented on leveraging digital technology for human rights protection in Africa. And because the rate in which human rights violation happens in Africa is increasing rapidly. So, okay, it's increasing rapidly. And I, as a victim of human rights violation, I can't just sit back while watching people with higher authority bringing digital doesn't have much authority. What do you have to say to Giseb? I would like to say a very big and huge thank you to Giseb for this opportunity. And I'm open to more opportunities. Was that supposed to say? Okay, from this symposium, what can you say to your future self? Okay, to my future self, continue doing what you want to do and don't give up. Giseb has really shown you that your little efforts really paid off. So don't give up to my future self. All right, thank you. Bye.
Right, hello everyone. I am Thomas Wedakwe, a recipient of the Best Research in Engineering for the Best Completed Giseb. I want to thank Giseb for the opportunity. It was a fantastic time from the start of university to the final. It was a very wonderful time. I want to thank Giseb for the opportunity. I want to thank my supervisor, my family, particularly my wife, and everyone that has contributed to making this success. Then I want to take this help to keep it up, move forward to the next edition, where we're celebrating other young scientists and researchers. My name is Devoted, final year mechanical engineering student of the University of Ibadan. Thank you.
All right. You presented at the final stage. Can you talk briefly about your work?
All right. So the idea or the topic of my innovation is experimental investigation of solar software filtration system, and it is a concept that helps in providing a alternate source of refrigeration system to off-grid area, rural area, in sense that it helps to we can use it as vaccine storage, can use it to maintain the temperature of automatic to maintain food stuff at a particular temperature, and it is very very pocket friendly, and that is why I am presenting this particular innovation so that the world can see that there are actually alternate source of refrigeration system aside depending on our normal power supply and fuel power generator and the likes.
All right. What can you say about your symposium journey so far?
See, that has been transformational. Because I remember after submitting my abstract, it was accepted. Then for the semi-final stage, the judges were wonderful. Their observation, their correction actually pushed me beyond my limit. That fun, do more of the work, read, ask myself questions, answer those questions, and that really been a time of growth for me. And I would say it is an experience I will definitely not forget in a hurry. Thank you.
All right. Sure. I'm done with this symposium. What can you say to your future self?
I'm actually waiting for my future self, and I'm certain that I'm on the right path, and the sky is just a starting point.
All right. So, what advice do you have for other young researchers?
For other young researchers, I would say they should not look down on themselves. It's always go out. They should go all out, right? They should go all out. I just as the Bible says, cast your bread on the waters. You definitely use one way or the other. So, going for those opportunities, you never can tell. Even if you get rejected, at least rejection is like I'm not starting from scratch. You are learning from experience, and then that will be an avenue to grow and also to build yourself career wise.
Thank you very much. I might have you with this journey.
I feel so excited about the final the grand finale basically of this symposium. It's an exciting opportunity and it's quite encouraging. All through it has been online, but now it is physical, and this physical one really like will now encourage me a lot. So and I'm so happy, super happy to be here. And so I really want something to be the best undergraduate researcher. So I'm so happy. Thank you very much, Giseb, for this opportunity.
My name is Zero Tupo, and I'm a final year dental student at UI, University of Ibadan. I feel so great to have come this far to be one of the finalists that presented at the semi-finals and also finals, and also to be receiving this consolation prize of 100,000 naira. I feel happy for the people I've met as well. I'm happy to collaborate with them for future projects, and I'm happy to be part of this family as well. Thank you.